This is a video on how to measure for a square neck alb or surplice, and you'll document your measurements on the measurement form on the website. So the first thing you want to do to get your measurements accurate, it's so important that you do this to get accurate measurements, otherwise your garment won't fit perfectly, and we really want it to fit you well. So when we're measuring for a square neck, especially if you don't have an existing garment, on your cassock, typically right below your second button, we're going to use some tape, either masking tape or painter's tape, and you'll put a piece of tape right at whatever height you'd like the garment to cut across you, but usually it is right around below that second button. And so you'll go straight across from sleeve seam to sleeve seam, here to here. And then you're going to do the same thing on the back so that it's at the exact same height as the front. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting the same. And I'll go sleeve seam to sleeve seam. And this will give me accurate measurements for your yoke band. Now I'm also going to do the shoulder bands so that these are accurate as well. So you'll take your tape right at the sleeve seam and go from the back to the front at the sleeve seam and about an inch to an inch and a half away from your cassock collar. Okay, and you can turn around. This is my brother Joseph. He's not a priest, he's just helping me. So for your first measurement, the front yoke band, you're going to simply, and you can do this on your own, or if you have someone to help you, that's always helpful. But you're going to go across the top of the tape from that sleeve seam to the other sleeve seam. So this is exactly 15 inches. So I'm going to write down 15 inches. Now, if your cassock doesn't fit you well, maybe the shoulder your seam is down here, it's good to still make your garment where your shoulder seam should be. The second measurement is B, so that's your back yoke. And you'll measure on the back from the sleeve seam to the sleeve seam across the back. So this one is actually 17 inches. So typically they're the same, but sometimes they will be a little bit different, and that's okay, but not too much different. It's good if they are the same. So if they're very, very close, I would make them the same. For measurement C, shoulder band and desired sleeve length together. So you're going to put the measuring tape up here at your cassock collar, typically right where the seam meets the collar, and come down the shoulder and then down the sleeve. And you can have your arm out a little bit. And so I've got that at 0. So the sleeve length is 30. Now while you have the measuring tape in place, go ahead and look up right at the sleeve seam so I can get the shoulder band measurement, and this is 6 inches. Measurement F is from the top of the back yoke band to the top of the front yoke band near the neck. And so I'm going to go right here, and I'm at the top of the masking tape on both sides, which brings me to 13.5 inches. And if you notice, I'm going right along the inside of the masking tape. So you would put 13 inches for F, and then for G, we're going to do the same thing near the sleeve. So you'll go right along the sleeve seam for this one. So I'm at the top of the tape, going over the sleeve seam to the top of the tape, which is 10 inches. And then we'll do the sleeve circumference. So So I found that the easiest way to do this is hold it at 0, kind of pull your cassock sleeve so it's taut on the wrist, come around, and that measures 13 inches. K measurement, K is the circumference of your skirt. So you don't have to actually do a measurement for that. The typical is 88 inches. If you'd like more, you can add more to that, or if you'd like to decrease it, that's fine as well. But if you're not sure, you can just put the standard 88. And lastly is L, the pocket opening. So for the pocket opening, if you're gonna have pockets, if not, you can put no or NA, but you'll go right at the top of your shoulder at the sleeve seam and put the 0, and then bring the measuring tape down until we hit the top of your pocket opening. And so I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm putting my hand at the top of the pocket opening, and I'm going to measure down to this distance so that I know where to put your pocket for your alb. So for that measurement is 17¼ inches. And when I did this measurement, there isn't a spot on your paper to put that measurement. So actually, yes, there is. That's D. So that is how you take measurements for a square neck alb or surplice.